Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Rochelle and I'm a holistic wellness and relationship coach. So let's talk, are the women to blame for the problems in relationships? In some ways, the answer is yes. For example, if a woman was raised by a single mom or divorced parents and she never proactively went out there to learn relationship skills, she may not know how to effectively handle conflicts in her relationship. For example, John Gottman, who is one of the, if not the leading researcher in what makes relationships and marriages last, he states that when a wife shows a lot of, in a general sense, shows a lot of affection and interest and humor to her husband in their relationship, that when conflicts do arise, he's better able to remain calm in that conflict situation. Marriage is one of, if not the biggest decision that we make in our lives, and yet relationship skills are not taught in schools. So the question for women is, if you were raised by a single mom or divorced parents, who taught you what a happy and healthy relationship looks and feels like? Did you learn relationship skills from something like your favorite movie or your favorite love songs? For me, it was Nina Mosley and Darius Lovehall from Love Jones. Love Jones is one of my favorite movies of all time. But as much as I loved the romance between Darius and Nina, the movie's portrayal of love taught me that love meant playing games and getting chased. That love meant playing it cool and feigning indifference and showing a complete lack of vulnerability. How about you? Growing up, what did you think love was supposed to look and feel like? Another issue that I see with many women in relationships is that they suck at giving their men words of affirmation. And a lot of times they'll say things like, well, I shouldn't have to thank a man for doing something that he should be doing for himself anyways, like doing the dishes or taking out the trash. And they feel like they shouldn't have to stroke a man's ego. But again, remember what I said about what John Gottman said. The more a wife shows her husband humor, interest, and affection in their relationship overall, the better able he is to remain calm when they are in conflict with each other. So these words of affirmation are extremely important in happy and healthy relationships. And that being said, okay, I'll just play devil's advocate here. A grown woman should not have to thank a grown man for doing things that he should do for himself anyways, like do the dishes or take out the trash. But my question is, how does it hurt women to give her man those words of affirmation if it does mean the world to him? And another issue that's common with women in relationships is that when they become emotionally triggered in a conflict, they don't generally know when to back off. Like we spoke about in another video, this is because women are usually the maximizers in their relationships. Meaning that when they are hurt or angry, they are the partner that tends to become mostly emotionally explosive. And sometimes they can say very hurtful things when they are angry or hurt themselves. This is why I always tell men, in a relationship, there are only two people. So when you are in conflict, there's only two people that can take the lead to de-escalate that situation. So it's going to have to be either the woman who takes the lead to de-escalate the situation, or it's going to have to be the man to take the lead and de-escalate that situation. There is no third person that can come in to their conflict and de-escalate that situation. And something else that I've noticed is that it seems that for women, they want to be treated like the queen in their relationships and in their marriages, and they want to be treated like the princess when they are dating. Both the queen and the princess are feminine archetypes, but the difference between the queen and the princess is that the queen prioritizes holding the power in her relationship, and the princess prioritizes being romanced in her relationship. So what does it mean to hold most of the power in your relationship? Holding most of the power in your relationship means these 7 things. Number 1, you make most of the decisions in your relationship. Number 2, you have most of the influence over your relationship's future. Number 3, your opinions carry the most weight in your relationship. Number 4, you get your way most often in your relationship. Number 5, you are more persuasive than your partner. Number 6, You are less emotionally involved in your relationship. And number 7, you can more easily find a new partner if your relationship ends. So although we talk about who's to blame for the breakdown in relationships and the breakups of families, there's only 2 parties involved here. We have men and then we have women. So the blame game doesn't really do us much good. But what both sides can absolutely do is learn relationship skills so that we can have happier and healthier relationships. And we have to always remember that even though we talk about who's to blame, the men or the women, we always have to remember that everyone is unique and everyone is different. All men are not the same and all women are not the same. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about 4 of the most common feminine archetypes. I think it's important that when men are dating or looking for someone to be in a relationship with or someone to marry, that he judges that potential partner based on how she vibes with him, based on their vision, if they have an equal vision for their lives, based on their compatibility with each other. So here we go. Here are 4 of the most common feminine archetypes. Number 1, the feminist rebel. A good example of this is the actress Angelina Jolie. Please remember, I do not personally know these people, so I'm just judging based on their public personas. Okay, so the feminist rebel, a good example of that would be Angelina Jolie. The pro of being in a relationship with a feminist rebel is that she can be challenging in a fun and exciting way. The con of being in a relationship with a feminist rebel is also that she can be challenging in a stubborn way. Some of the traits of the feminist rebel are that she speaks out against discrimination and oppression, she challenges injustice, she wears bold and daring styles, she does things in non-traditional ways, and she introduces radically new ideas into the culture. Archetype number 2 is called the queen, and a celebrity example of that would be Beyonce. The pro of being in a relationship with the queen is that she gets things done and is a great partner to build wealth with. The con of being in a relationship with the queen is that she is controlling and struggles to share the power in her relationships. Some of the traits of the queen are that she takes charge of situations for maximum results, she commands center stage without even trying, and she uses her influence to empower others. Our 3rd feminine archetype is called the nurturer, and a good example of that would be Ayesha Curry. The pro of being in a relationship with a nurturer is that she is great at meeting the needs of her partner. The con of being in a relationship with the nurturer is that she struggles to ask for help and therefore is prone to feeling resentful of their partners. They are also prone to giving their partners a lot of silent treatments when their partner can't read their minds. Some of the traits of the nurturer are that she has the ability to sense the needs of other people, whether family, friends, or strangers. She intuitively knows when you need rest and a nice home-cooked meal. And many nurturers can be found in the kitchen, making sure that not only are meals tasty and nutritious, but also that mealtimes are emotionally nourishing. Feeding others is the ultimate form of caring for many women with the nurturing archetype. And our 4th feminine archetype is called the fashionista. And a good example of the fashionista is Kim K. The pro of being in a relationship with the fashionista is that she is great at maintaining her looks. The con of being in a relationship with a fashionista is that she can struggle with low self-esteem and she can need a lot of attention to feel good about herself. Some of the traits of the fashionista are that she desires to be her own person and stand out, that she loves being noticed, admired, and copied, and that she has a knack for throwing odds and ends together and making them look like a high-end design. And also, fashion for the fashionista is not just a hobby, it's core to her identity. Food for thought. Yes, you can have a wife who's both great in bed and is also nurturing, but one will take more work for most women than the other. Why? Because society has programmed many women in the same manner it has programmed many men to believe that women should be either sexual or nurturing. So there's a lot of societal nonsense we all have to unlearn, and this includes your wife or your future wife. So let's talk about some of the complaints that many men have about women. So number 1, men will say women should keep their legs closed. Okay, yes, women can keep their legs closed, but then who are men supposed to, quote unquote, get their body count up with? Men say single moms can't raise men. Okay, if you're a man who was raised by a single mom, what have you done to reparent yourself so that you can learn life skills your mom wasn't equipped to teach you? Many men also say that women get emotionally attached to men after they have sex with them. Okay, then why aren't we talking more about how emotionally abusive it is to have sex with women, get them emotionally attached, and then not marry them? Many men also say that traditional gender roles is the best system, but best for whom? Why did women fight to move away from that system? Many men say the traditional gender roles is the best system. Okay, but what neighborhood with good schools can you afford to live in if you are 100% responsible to financially provide for a wife and kids? Many men say the courts favor mothers over fathers, and the system is set up to screw men over. Okay, then why aren't we telling men to stop having sex with women they don't want to marry? I say all this to say, dear men, what is the ask? What are you asking for women to do? We've spoken ad nauseum about the problems that have caused the breakdown of families. But the blame game is tired. When are we going to start talking about practical solutions? So again, dear men, what is the ask? What are you asking for women to do? So let me know in the comments, what is your answer to what are men in general asking for women in general to do? What is the ask? Thank you for watching. I am grateful for you. My name is Melissa Rochelle, and I'm a holistic wellness and relationship coach. Please remember to like, subscribe, and most importantly of all, share this information with everyone you know, so that we can do everything we can to break the generational cycles of broken homes, burnt out single moms, and fatherless children.